Hi, 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 hi. How is everybody today? Today, let's do this and hopefully not knock the whole shebang down. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna get up again. Screw around with my camera. Hi, I'm September, also known as 9 of 12. Um, I am there. Um, I am a streamer and a podcaster for a really long time, but I've only been doing cooking for, let me see, November, December, 5 months. Excuse me, ish, but I've loved to cook all my life. It's a dream. My mission is to share my joy and passion for cooking and help people gain the confidence to try it themselves. People say, I can't cook, I can't cook. There are a lot of reasons they believe that. Anyone can cook, I believe that. And um, so I'm willing to make some mistakes in front of y'all, if that's what it takes. And it definitely has happened. So that maybe you can be less self-critical, but hopefully I like to open the door and try new things. Trying new things cooking is it's exciting for me. And I mean it's ritual for me. It kept me sane when I had to cook for my family for years and years and years. I mean I still do, but um, it gives me I continue to take joy in it by learning new things and cooking for other people. So on that note, this is kind of today I'm gonna make granola. When my kids were little, as a treat, as packing in lunches for school, as a snack, I started making my own granola. I don't know if it's because I spotted it in Mark Bittman's cookbook. He's changed his method. I'm trying the new method today since the old cookbook of his that I had, where he doesn't put any oil in it anymore, which is fine. I also find store-bought granola kind of greasy sometimes. And to say whether it's cheaper, I feel like it's definitely cheaper to make your own. You get a big old batch, and you can use whatever you've got, whatever you want in it, for additions to your base of oats. Um, yeah, so it's easy and it's versatile, and um, I got something. Oh, I know where it is. In my purse. Um, it can be cheap. I mean, you don't even actually need any additions. I picked up cashews, so that's a little fancy. But I was getting a sub for my husband to have for dinner before he goes to his gig tonight. He's a musician. He's got a show in a little bit. Um, but the funny story here, I'm going to measure out 6 cups of oats onto this cookie sheet and then toss them in the oven to start toasting. It kind of gives a head start to the oats toasting before we add the sweetener and things. Um, so 6 cups. Um, I like had a friend, like it was a friend adjacent situation, I guess. Somebody my husband worked with, um, one a long time ago. Two, three. Um, his wife, 4, 5, 6. It's a lot of oats. A lot of oats, which is awesome though, because there's probably enough in here to throw into some cookies I want to make soon. So anyway, she stopped liking me. She didn't like me, or I don't know. She wanted to hang out. I didn't know what was going on, and then I was told later that like she didn't like me. She never liked me. She thought I was all full of myself. Like I made my own granola, and that was so. What? I don't understand. What's happening? It was so weird to me. Like, I wasn't doing it and showing off and being like, oh, look how healthy my kids are. I would never talk like that. It was like, I was excited about it, probably, is how it came up. Like, oh my gosh, I made my own granola and it was so good and it was so easy. Like, I, I, I don't know. I don't know why or how it became something that, like, oh, I can't stand her. She makes her own granola. Like, what? So that's starting to toast, 300-degree oven. And then I'm gonna stir it around a couple times, just get a little head start of about 20 minutes. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes. 10-minute timer start. So when that goes off, I'll flip it around a little, and then I'll give it another 10. And let's figure out what we're adding, right? These are already roasted and salted, but that's not going to be the end of the world. Peanuts are the cheapest nuts generally. Let's do a whole cup of those, right? Grab a bowl. And a little bit of salt in those, because I'm not putting any other salt in the granola. It's not going to hurt anything. And roasting a little more isn't going to hurt anything. It's not a full cup, almost a cup. Oh, looks like my cats were deciding to just knock herbs all over the floor that were left out. So I keep leaving stuff out. And let me see, I've got bits of nuts that were like left over from stuff. There's some pecan halves. I don't know why there would be that small an amount. Usually what I use them for is pecan pie. Like, why would I leave like 5 nuts? I don't know why I didn't just put them in a pie, but maybe somebody ate some. I have some walnuts. Walnuts are another really good cheap option to doing something like this. Let's say half a cup. And those are not roasted. They're just chopped. So, when the oats get toasty, we'll toss these nuts on and we'll give another 5 minutes or so and let those get nice and toasty. And then we'll add other stuff. Oh, my cutting board's on the other side. I'm going to put, I guess I should ask Rob. I feel like he would not eat the cherries. I've got roasted or dried cranberries. Oh, there's a piece of glass. The fuck? I said something about raisins, and he made cookies the other day, and he made a face. But I don't even have any raisins in the house. I don't use them very often. But I'm going to put dried cranberries in this granola. I have a lot. I thought about dried cherries, but I don't feel like I would even like that. You know what? It might actually be good for granola. It's a little darker. Maybe I'll put both. I don't want to put something in and then no one eats it but me. That's a lot of freaking granola. The fruit is, well, shit. Let's try these. See how I feel. Okay, the dried sweetened cranberries have a little bit of they're a better, tartness, and they're more dense than the cherries. The cherries are softer, but they're also a milder, chewier, almost like dates, but not as dark and solid. Hey, Rob? Yeah. How do you think you feel about dried cherries in the granola? We don't have raisins or apricots. We have cherries and cranberries. I didn't think I liked them either, but I tasted it and I'm surprised. All right. He said cherry. If he doesn't eat it, I'll have a fucking ton of granola, right? I'm gonna put maybe I'm gonna big too. I'm gonna put over a cup, like stack a cup. Because again, we are looking at 6 cups. Yeah, I like these more than I thought, folks. Um, I'll save the dried cranberries for scones and cookies. My hand is sticky from the cherries now, but whatever. Okay. Cashews. These are whole. I feel like I don't want to use the whole container. Because I already have them for another purpose. I've got all those other nuts in there. I'm trying to see if there's a good, easy way to halve these that aren't halved. If I tap them gently, will they halve? Nope, they crush. Yeah, I guess I will leave those whole then. I want, you know how cashews are. They're that nice, fatty nutty, I guess I would call it. And I want them to get their full, us to get our full joy out of them when we get one. But not enough that you're picking them out. So there we go. Pecans could, the halves could maybe be quartered. There's not many. I really like pecans, but this is a lot. This is a good amount of nuts. I feel like that's a good 2 cups of nuts and it'll be plenty. All right. So what else are we talking about? While I got you. Haven't sanded the other side of this cutting board yet. I will get around to it. I had a lot of home projects happening. I try to replace the doorknobs on my son's bedroom doors. Yeah. So the rest of this process is going to be roast the nuts with the oats after the oats get their due. And then toss in, then it's like 5 minutes, and then bring it out and toss in. Let me check, because this is, like I said, the new method, 2019, new, like, out of 400, stir occasionally, darken oats, and then, yeah, about 5 minutes with the nuts, like I said, or and coconut. If you want coconut, put it in when you put the nuts in. I don't have any coconut. I wasn't going to buy it for this. And then drizzle honey over it and stir it around and put it back in. And then you're just turning it once or twice. Like you're getting as dark as you want it. It'll just get toastier and darker. Don't burn it, obviously. I'm going to use a combination of maple syrup and honey in this. And it is... I'm going to put a little bit of cinnamon in. There's a lot of things. You could put cinnamon, you could put cardamom, you could put anise, cloves, nutmeg, all kinds of ground spices. Let me see something here. You could use molasses or agave or brown rice syrup instead of honey. You could use brown sugar. Cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, cardamom, anise, coriander, allspice. You could put vanilla, you could put peanut butter. I would probably use like a peanut butter protein powder, like a spice to do that. Tahini, ginger, orange, lemon, grapefruit, zest. So seeds. Oh yeah, oh no. I got some pepitas I want to put in, but they're already roasted enough and those are small enough. I don't want to over roast them. I'm going to look at those and maybe put in pepitas. But it'd be really good sometimes to maybe I'll Switch it up and like use ginger and like lemon zest and apricots in that, dried apricots. Like would be really good. Maybe I'll go crazy and explore something like adding curry. Because I like those snack mixes with like curry or the rice snack things. Um, glitter. Let's put some glitter in it. No. Yes, I have edible glitter. I don't want to put clove in. Maple sugar now. I'm looking for my ground cardamom. I know I have some. Holy shit. Rosemary tried to get me. Huh. Ha ha ha. Well, maybe I won't be adding any such thing. Alexa, stop. Okay, I'm gonna stir the oats around. Do-do-do-do-do-do. And I'm sorry you can't see because my kitchen is separate from where I stream because it would be terrible for streaming. I'm just using a metal spatula and stirring around the oats a bit. Flatten back out. Alexa, set an alarm for 10 minutes. This is going to be really quick. We're going to have a quick stream today. Cardamom. Let's put this big one in here underneath, right? Because then I can put stuff on top of it. All right. Yeah, I think that's going to be a really nice add. I'm going to add some cinnamon and some cardamom. Probably when I bring it out to I'm going to do it at the end because it doesn't really need to toast as much as like the nuts are going to. So when I stir in the fruit at the very end is when I'll put that in. Yeah, because then by then we'll have the sweetener on it. So let me put some of this stuff away. And then I'm going to measure out my honey and maple syrup. And taste this pepita. To see if it's not already too dry to stand up to a little extra roasting. And the peanuts are going to get it too, so. Yeah. If I wanted those, I would put them in at the very end, but I'm going to skip them. Those are very salty. You'll save those for salads. So I got new measuring cups. Look. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is an old one. This is an Aldi deal, Crofton. But this whole set, it's like they're like almost like an Erlenmeyer flask. They've got a spout, and they've got imperial on one side and like milliliter on the other, and they come in the whole stacked. Where's my okay set? Oh no, they're sticking together. Come on. But they go all the way down to this little bitty guy. Little bitty guy. But still a decent sized spout, to stay accurate. This is a teaspoon. How cute. This is a tablespoon. I'm so excited. This is 2 tablespoons. They stack, but boy, they don't want to come apart right. It's like 4 tablespoons, which is 60 milliliters. This is 125 milliliters, which is 4 ounces, half a cup. And then this is a cup, right? No, this is 3/4 of a cup. And then this is the 1 cup. There's the 1 cup. So my nerdy heart loves them. And they're all different colors, which I guess I'll get used to eventually. And they stick into the little hole. Oops, I missed one. Oh, I have too much. So is this a half? This is a half cup. You can use a half cup to a cup. This is 3/4. There we go. I'll use that. Of sweetener. This big one is a pint. It's 2 cups, which I got this at Aldi ages ago. It's a Crofton. It's not. These are OXO, I guess. OXO. Okay, so I'm gonna use about a half a cup or 3/4, like somewhere in between. It's not. It's kind of a to taste thing. Once I have everything, and there will end up a little oil in because I'm spraying the inside of this so the sweetener pours out easily. I'll be kind of based on texture, mixing around my granola with the sweetener. I definitely want to favor maple to honey, but I'm going to mix these ahead so that I get a texture that's easy to pour over the whole sheet of granola. This is a brand new jar of honey I'm opening from Partridge Hill Farms. They're in Cool Spring, North Carolina. That's Cool Springs, right? Yeah, Springs. I should know that. It's a precinct. My friend Diane Hamby owns Partridge Hill Farms. I met her through politics when that was what I did. I'm going to probably want to replace this jar before too long or this lid with, her honey is so good. It really is. Anyway, we met through politics. She is the first person I know who has a very strong stance of politics is a blood sport. So I'm going to go to not quite 3/4. And mix this around. But I get her honey. I like to stay local with honey whenever I can. Keep my local beekeepers in the business. And there's a couple different Bell Farm I've bought from several times. And there's another one we have just a squirt bottle of because it was not a farmer's market day and we had to get some at the store. So, but Rob found some in the store that was from Charlotte, which is, relatively local, bee wise. I don't have a honey drizzler thing, so we're gonna be just being careful with this spouted cup we're using. Okay, so there's my maple honey. Oh. Babes, that's amazing. Okay. Another use for that. I like real maple syrup. Obviously. I mean, you can tell. And being from the north, we get particular about our maple syrup, not that corn syrup with brown food coloring in it shit that people use. What's the brand? I'm forgetting. Grandma something. I don't know. Anyway. Aunt Jemima. Yeah, screw that. This would be putting some honey in your maple syrup to give it that thickness you want to really so it doesn't soak straight into your waffles and pancakes, so that it kind of stays on the outside, but then you still have an actual maple flavor. This is a good idea. I can't believe I never thought of doing that. I'm washing my hands, they're sticky. Um, Holy moly. Yeah, next time I do waffles or pancakes, I am mixing some honey with my maple syrup. Pro tip. I should check the stream. Geez, Core is on, Eat It Dad's is on. What am I doing? No one's gonna be here. It's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, I've been on a little less than a half hour. Oh, hi. See, look, Nat's here. DJ Bogu's here. Yay. There are people here. And I'll have people to raid into. I'll have to decide who to raid into. Core goes for hours and hours, but Eat It Dad's is cooking. He's kind of my new favorite cooking streamer. He's been working on prep for meals for camping with his son and beet cookies. Look at this. I have tools here. Like I have a crowbar. Everybody needs a crowbar when they cook, right? I can't keep any space for myself. But the recipe development, beet cookies was like an idea he had, and he's been, I think this is only the second version of actually trying to make the beet cookies. I'm keen on it. I'm looking forward to getting when he gets one that works. And he has a cookie club, like when you follow. No, I'm not making waffles, but I am making granola today. Um, and Alexa, stop. That timer means my oats are toasty. They've been in a 300-degree oven for like 20 minutes. So I'm going to grab those. You can definitely smell them. It's got some nuttiness going on. Pardon the sizzle. That's because I wiped the honey off my cutting board. So, yeah, I'm making homemade granola today. 300 degrees, about 20 minutes, stir it a couple of times. Give your oats a head start on the toasty. Now, we're going to add nuts. I've got peanuts, pecans, walnuts, cashews, just nuts I had in the cupboard. I had pecans for when I made General Tso's. I had a few pecans making from leftover pecan pie. I don't know why I had walnuts in there. I was probably craving nuts and they were cheap. So this is going to go in for like 5 minutes, 5 more minutes at 300. Then we're going to put our sweetener on, which is kind of where you came in asking about waffles, because I was talking about waffles. When we add our sweetener to this, it's going to be a mixture of maple syrup and honey, which after doing that, just because I wanted to use both, I think in the past I always just used maple syrup. It occurred to me that that would be amazing with waffles or pancakes because you get actual real maple syrup taste with the viscosity to, be drizzle your pancakes and waffles and not have it immediately soak up, like, which is what happens with maple syrup. I usually have I put maple syrup like on my plate and I cut and dip things like that, so it doesn't just soak up and you lose your crispiness on your waffle or your pancake gets spongy. So next time I do make those things, I'm probably going to mix together some honey and maple syrup for that. So, I don't know, Natalie, if you heard me talking about the cherries. I'm gonna go ahead and put the dried cherries I have in the granola. I know you had more uses for them than I could come up with when I was just thinking about what to do with them. But I think they're gonna be better than the dried cranberries in this. When kids were young, I think I just used hanging up on the thing. Um, I used probably dried apricots because we really like those. I just don't have any in the house right now, and probably golden raisins because I like those. But my youngest won't eat any of that. He had a dried mango was the only fruit he would eat, and that only lasted for a little while. I don't know how. I think Rob likes dried mango, but that's another thing. If I were to switch the profile of the granola to using like ginger and stuff, um, I would maybe use like agave and ginger and cardamom, but I am gonna put cardamom in this and then put apricots and like dried mango. Like a tropical granola, but when you get tropical granola in the store, it always has that pineapple in it, and dried pineapples, I think it's terrible. Um, if I were to dry pineapple by myself, just dehydrate it, I'd probably be fine with that, but it's always like crystallized. They must boil it in sugar, like crunchy texture, and you can't even taste pineapple anymore. I don't like any of the dried pineapple that comes in granola. But the cherries, they don't have that crystalline texture that the dried cranberries do. I love dried cranberries, but I I'm gonna save them for. I love them in my scones because they're baked in a moist situation. That crystallization goes away, and they're just a nice tart little bite in a scone. So I'll save them for that. That's my favorite thing to do with them. But the cherries don't have that. They're not as dried, and they darken up. The cherry flavor isn't as bright as um, like as fresh cherries, obviously, but it's also more. It's flavor wise, it seems close to a date. It's mellowed to like a maltiness that I feel is going to be really good in a roasted, toasty granola situation. I kind of wish I had almonds, but I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on nuts because this recipe is kind of a clean out the cupboard in some ways uh, for me today. Bittman's Zoo book doesn't say when to put the uh, spice add-ons into your granola, but I'm making my best guess, and I feel like it doesn't really matter. I feel like if it weren't a mess to stir it around in my sweetener, that might also be a good way to do it. But I figure after is going to be the best because it'll be roasty, but it'll be tiny bit, sugared from cooking the sweetener onto it, and it'll take a spice better at that time. Oh, I'm so excited. These are homemade granola is so good. And I've got an awkward eating thing tonight. Rob has a gig, but it's from 7 to 9. Um, I had a little bit of ground beef, like a hamburger's worth to use up. So I made a sloppy Joe, like a single sloppy Joe, but I did it at like, I don't know, 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or something. So, hold on. My, can't pick up this piece of plastic. My nails are failing me. I have to go get the oats. Get the oats. Where to put? Shh. Shh. I forgot Jack and Sally. I pushed the button. Stop making the noise. Okay. Okay, now, again, by smell. Just like 20 minutes on the oats. 5 more minutes of those nuts. Now I smell nuts. Get a little roast on even the raw ones. Not a super high temp, like I said. Just, okay, I don't want to mix that up yet because that will favor the nuts all falling to the bottom or clumping because they're heavier. But here's where we put our sweetener. And I'm using almost 3/4 of a cup. Recipe just says a half a cup to a cup. Um, of a mixture of honey and maple syrup. This is to taste. You could use either, or brown rice syrup, or agave, or I don't know what else. What other options? Is there a fake corn syrup yet? Is there a no sugar corn syrup out there that's passable? I mean, agave would probably be your best low index option that I can think of. Okay, I'm gonna get a rubber spatula for this because it'll stick to. And here we go. Let's mix it all up. There it is. Let's see, it's moistening. It's not going to be, super clumpy granola. It's not going to be bars. There are methods to do that. I've never done that. So even though I totally had at least one person not like me because I make my own granola, I'm not, I guess, pretentious enough to make all of my own fruit snacks and granola bars. I don't protein bars. I mean, I see recipes for that kind of thing, and I'm like, ooh, I would like to do that because, man, they put a lot of crap in the one in the stores. But I think I'm averse. Like, I haven't even made granola like this in how old are my kids now? Gosh, probably 15 years. Like, it really upset me, and like I said about why I do this with the cooking stream, I want people to have the confidence. Yes, you can cook. I want assumptions made, about you because you cook. Don't let anybody suck the joy out of it for you. I want to mix this really, really good, by the way. Um, and that person who told people that she didn't like me and how I was so full of myself and I made my own granola, I was trying to make her feel inferior or something. And I tried to talk to her about it. But it really, I think it messed me up more than I thought. Like I said, I just kind of quit doing it. I might have quit doing it before I found that out just because the kids weren't enjoying it as much, but I like granola, so what the hell? I don't understand. But it seemed like a really good thing to do quick on stream when I've got a minute because y'all can accomplish this and enjoy this, and it's me getting back on the horse, I guess. All right. So, see, it wants to stick together now. It doesn't have to be totally one layer or anything, but I'm going to put this in. And then I can't tell you how long this is going to take because this is going to be to preference. You can decide to keep tasting it, and um, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little cinnamon. And I've never used this in granola before, but cardamom seemed like a really good call to me. I freaking love cardamom. But not a lot, not a heavy spicing, just something friendly. The metal spatula I will use when I start turning it roasting. So it's going to be to taste and to smell and to eye. You can just keep letting it go darker and darker and darker. I don't imagine I'll do this. I'm doing it like 5 minutes at a time. I'll do it a couple times, and it'll probably be nice and brown. Yeah, so when it's as brown as I want, I just take out, I'm going to put the cherries in, mix it up, and it will be good to eat. Just cool down. You can bag it up individually. Yeah, maybe I should because Rob and I do want to get in better shape and do more exercising, and he really we both like protein bars, but man, the stats on those are usually terrible for being a whole lot more fat and sugar than they need to have in them. So it ends up being not helpful to do a meal replacement with them. So maybe from scratch isn't a bad idea, and I should stop being deterred by something that happened like however many years ago now. Um, yeah. Why did I let that happen? And I don't want any of you to let that happen to you. If you like cooking and something in particular or whatever. Oh, so yeah, I started to say I did try to talk to her about it because I think I just messaged her somewhere like, girl, I never tried to make you feel inferior. Like, and that was so crazy to me because this woman was like on it. As a stay at home mom, I still struggled with telling people that. People ask what I do. Like, and I was like, I'm a stay at home mom, and you feel weird and bad as if that's not a fucking 24-hour a day, 7-day a week job. Um, so much value is placed on if you're making money and working for someone else. Um, and it was a decision we made. Like Rob is really, uh, he's got more stamina. He has a good work ethic. He has skills that bring in enough money that I could stay home instead of me going to work basically to uh, only make enough money, at least back then when we made that decision to pay for child care. And yeah, no. So I stayed home with the kids. And then after that, we got them into a charter school. And so as our income increased, it was paying for transportation to drive them to school every day. And my time was still needed because they didn't have busing and whatever. But I always felt insecure about when people ask me what I do. This woman was not only did she become a mother, um, but she put herself through fucking law school. Like, I was amazed and respected her and admired. Like, I couldn't fathom doing that. I mean, I had several kids, but still, like, full time momming and doing law school successfully and, passing the bar. Um, and she thought and somehow my making my own granola made her feel like she was a bad mom or something. And it sucked. I mean, fortunately, it wasn't as big a deal. It didn't ruin everything because we had a legal incident, and I called her because she was the only lawyer I knew at the time for some advice, and she gave me that advice. But like opening that up because we hadn't been talking for a bit was kind of how I ended up finding that like she never liked me because she thought because I made her feel bad. And I wish she had told me it wasn't apparently fixable. We didn't stay in each other's lives. But that's why I titled the stream like I'm making granola, don't hate me. You can do this too. It's not very hard. And if you don't have the time, cool, buy a bag of granola if you want some freaking granola. But if you've got the time and you've got stuff in the house, and go ahead. This is another in the situation where a couple years ago and we were unemployed and I was having to go to the food pantry. That's where these dried cherries came from. Um, they definitely oats or something you get the food pantry. Using a combination of honey and maple syrup like I am, you could probably use that. I'm almost certain you could use that Aunt Jemima corn syrup, fake maple syrup. That again, I know you can get at the food pantry because they asked and they wanted some because they had a bunch of pancake mix, and I've donated that to the food pantry. You could use that for your sweetener, and even if you just got oats and, whatever, a bag of nuts and some dried fruit, like this is something you could make with stuff from the food pantry that you definitely aren't going to spend that, $8 for a little bag of granola that the grocery store wants, right? I'm going to stir. I heard the 1 minute. I set it for 6 so that I would know when we were at 5. Okay. I had to bring it out here to show you guys what's happening. I'm sorry, my kitchen's not better. I can't afford a new house. Um, see, it's a little more solid, clumpy, but not wholly clumpy. If I wanted it more clumpy, I could add more sweetener, but I don't want to because I don't feel good when I eat things that are super high in sugar. So I feel like I compromise when it says a half to a cup and I put 3/4 in of. So, whoops. You really see how it's clumpy when I try to shake it and it doesn't flatten out like it did when it was just oats. So I'm going to keep toasting this like 5-ish minutes at a time. I'm going to probably give this 7 this time, just until it gets the brownness you want, the brownness you like. You can determine that by looking at it or you can determine that by tasting it. And I'm going to grab a drink while I'm out here. I've got soda. Soda. Do you call it pop or soda where you live? Hey, someone took. Oh, no, there it is. Thought someone took my cranberry pops. Pops. Not sponsored, but it would be. Oh my gosh, Aldi. That would be amazing. This is an Aldi brand of a prebiotic. I went in last week and they must have had, somebody forgot to put out some of the holiday ones. They have a spiced apple one and a cranberry one I really liked. And they had some there and I got so excited. I grabbed a whole bunch. I am really finding like, I know there's a lawsuit with Olipop and that their claims were not backed up. Um, hey, Darian, good day. Good to see you. Nice to see you in the Discord. Um, everyone out there, the bot doesn't want to ever work, and I keep forgetting until I use it once manually. Um, folks here today, some of y'all are in my Discord. Nice little community there. We chat about food. We share the food we've been having. I'm always available to answer questions you might have. I might hassle you, Cyrenax, about if you're ever going to make the potato wedges that you asked me to show you how on stream, and I did as like my first cooking stream. um, I posted there today. Any of you that saw me do the curry powder recently? So, one of my new favorite cooking streamers is Eat at Dad's. Um, I don't leave me, but do follow him. I don't know my shout out command. I couldn't get it to work last time. I keep forgetting to look. Um, I'll probably raid into him because he's working on beet cookies. A really cool guy. He's from uh, like Philadelphia, and he also loves this How to Cook Everything, Mark Bittman's cookbook that I rave about all the time. And I made curry the other day and I used my version. Now, I recently replaced mine. This came out in like 2019, but it's still the 20th anniversary edition of the cookbook because mine was falling apart. And I had made curry powder from his cookbook before, and I know I had made some variants and I had notes in it. Oh, that book fell apart. And when I replaced it, I forgot to check that recipe had stayed the same, and it did not. And threw away my notes. Brilliant, right? So I made that curry powder last week, and it's good. I've used it. I gave some to Lori, my friend. She used it. Oh no, she hasn't used it yet, but she told me her daughter came to visit, and she said, "Smell this. Be careful, but smell this." And had her smell it. She's like, "Curry powder." She's like, "Yeah." In September made it. She's like, oh, So next level curry powder. So that's awesome. And they're planning to do something with it. But I definitely could tell it was different than the old recipe. And Eat at Dad's, Joe's kind enough today to pull his copy out of how to cook everything because he has the earlier one and took a screenshot for me of the old curry powder recipes from that version of the book and put him in his Discord for me. And so I shared the new one with him and I put the one he gave me and the new one in our Discord, in my Discord. So if you'll go there, you'll see all that kind of back and forth stuff about food and whether you're eating out or you're trying to make a new thing or just sharing, man, Stormy can cook. Like so good. I feel like we've been helping each other um, get inspired to try something different. I definitely, with you sending me your mom recipes and then you saying, uh, I inspired you to try something different. Yeah, Bang S doesn't work. Okay, because I have titles for that. That used to be a thing, a generic thing to get what the commands are. That's okay. I don't need to shout out right now. This granola is going to take all that much longer. So I will just raid into Eat at Dad's, which please stick around for that. Even to just say hi and then follow him. He's he's just great. Um, a lot of us are in the Frog Pants community and we appreciate the no toxicity, good vibes, great conversation. The community in his chat is so cool like that. Just I was watching him earlier today. He does a lot longer streams than I do. Um, all food streamers do, right? Um, but I was saying I was going to stream, but I didn't know. I didn't have the gumption. Like I couldn't. I didn't have my shit together to do it. He's like, never let feeling like you don't have your shit together. I don't have my shit together. Don't that keep you from streaming? And I was like, I have to have at least the motivation to put on a bra. And that turned into just great conversation. I mean, we were laughing and joking, and people were throwing in innuendo, but people were also talking about appropriate, inappropriate flirting, and um, I, I'm just really enjoying the community over there. It's new fam. They banned a troll. Oh, and trolls, so great, right? He's also doing this thing on YouTube, and somebody they banned there took all the effort to come over to Twitch and find a stream and start trolling. Like, no. No. Let's just ban that shit, right? That went beep beep, which means I have like a few seconds left. Oh, now it's the big beep. I'm gonna have to wash this. I got honey on it somehow. All right. Stir it around. I'll bring it out, stir it around to show you its color. Oh, yeah. Hopefully it's evident enough with my light in here. I may have to get out the better light. Still moving around like it's a little too wet. You're also, I mean, you're roasting it to give it color and dry it some so that you can grab handfuls of it without it sticking to your hand, right? Um, it almost makes me wish I had a full sheet pan. Like this is technically a half sheet. I mean, this is normal size for normal people, but commercially it's a half. I probably won't take pictures of it until after we get the fruit in at the very end, because that'll be the better picture. But can you see it? It's darker. This light not might work. Is it plugged in? Let me see. Yeah, it's browner now, right? I don't know if you can tell. Oops. But that's what we're doing. We're just browning a little at a time. Rusty toasty. Part of us put it for 9, but I don't want to risk it burning. Um, I can't really smell the cinnamon and the cardamom as much as I would like, so I am also going to taste it the next time I turn it, mix it, to see if I would add a little more spice. But again, that's something you don't even have to put in it if you don't want. All you need is oats and nuts and sweetener. And an oven. You could totally do a smaller batch in a toaster oven too. Speaking of accessibility. Mm. Yeah, the bits that fell out because they're on the edge are crunchy. Yeah. So maybe 2 more times, I think. But this is going to be it. Pull it out, take a bite, see if it's the texture you want. And yeah. What else? Oh, I need to start making scripts. I'm so all over the place sometimes. Yeah, so I have an awkward thing where I'm not going to be hungry um, for dinner before we go to the show. Rob wants to leave around 5. The show's from 7 to 9. I got him a sub, so he's going to eat that after work, before or after shower or whatever, before we have to head out for the gig. But I'm not going to be hungry yet, and but I'll probably get hungry while we're at the venue, and the venue isn't, they don't have food. It's beer, no, it's cocktails and bourbon. It's called like 220 Main Street or 220 North Main. I don't know. It's in like the next town over. And I wish they had, if they had like a charcuterie board, that would be perfect. But no. Um, so maybe I'll take a bag of granola and have it in my purse so that I can have a cocktail, have a little something to munch on, and not end up um, getting an upset tummy because I didn't eat enough, right? Um, what else? Oh, welcome if you're watching this now, Joe. Joe Bondi is a local restaurant and pub owner, brewery owner. Yeah, Red Buffalo Brewing in Statesville here just opened a new location that's in a hotel right off the exit that has food and stuff. The regular location downtown doesn't. Joe is also from Buffalo, so we bond on that. They have beef on whack on their menu, which I was excited about, and then I went and gave my review and criticism, and he took me seriously and actually fixed the sandwich that had been brought out to me cold by mistake immediately. Because he trusts me. Because he's had a couple people in town bringing beef on wax, and I did too, and I went, overboard like I do, I guess, and made the Kimmelweck rolls from scratch, um, which they're not doing. They're adding the caraway and salt to some Kaisers, which is fine. At least their roast beef is not overcooked like some places that try to do it around here. And yeah, so they have this new location and they have some cocktails. I was excited to see they have their own old fashioned that they've formulated using a locally made bourbon. They have their brews from Red Buffalo. Some of those are available at this new location. Like I said, beef on whack wings were great. My son had some wings, and they have a charcuterie board, and I am all over this. This is something I want more places to have. Like the only place I know has one locally, sort of locally, Winston-Salem, Foothills Brewing has one, and another place I went there, like it was like I asked for the Gen X Lunchable, and they knew exactly what I meant. But it's like it has the regular menu, and then they have these cocktails, beers, and then it was like it's like $28, but like it's got your bread and I think olives and I think some of the shaved round beef they use for the beef hanwek and salami and a gorgonzola, which I'm guessing is probably the same one they use in their blue cheese. Their blue cheese dressing was also on point, so good. Obviously, homemade, not from a bottle. Um, so I will definitely. I mean, such a great date night, right? Um, to just go and get a charcuterie board and have a couple of drinks, and if you have enough drinks, get a room. That hotel used to be. I love Gorgonzola. I love Stilton. Um, if you've and what's the other? I love a Saint Andre. That's like stinky, but it's not the blue veins. Um, at Aldi, they have these wheels of what's called Gorgonzola. It's like brie and Gorgonzola uh, creation that is freaking delicious. Um, yum yum yum. Um, what was? Was there something else about blue cheese though? No, I love me stinky cheeses. I mean, I grew up with I've had Limburger. I could totally eat Limburger in a sandwich. And it was definitely not for everybody. They just can't get it past their nose. But then if you can't get it past your nose, it's really good. It tastes good. Um, Brie's the same way, but brie doesn't smell as strong. I mean, sometimes you get a brie that smells really strong, but the taste is amazing because of how much scent affects how much you taste. It's funny the separation they can have. Never had a cheese you didn't like. I have. I'm trying to remember what it was. Shoot. I until you said that, I think I blocked it out. What the hell? There's no way I'm going to remember what it was called. Well, you can see this is even more brown now. Shut off the light so you can see it. No. Um, it was we were laughing. We were calling it like the toe jam cheese. I feel like somebody gave it to us. Like it was. So, the thing with Limburger and why it's really hard for people to get it past their nose, um, to taste it at all, is because it smells like it's rotten, and it's not. Which the inside of your mouth can apparently translate because then it tastes good once you get it in your mouth. This stuff, there wasn't a translation. It really was like it was rotten, not just funky, like wrong. Like your stomach started to want to flop around. Okay, I really have to scrape. Make sure you get it flipped on the bottom because the sweetener will have it wanting to stick. This is almost where I want it. A lot of it is nice and brown. Don't want it over brown, like I said. Just exposing some more of the less brown parts. This could use more sweetener, but that's just being me. I don't want it sweeter, which might result in me eating more of it than Rob, who I think is the only other person in the house who's going to eat any. He likes granola. Hopefully you can see. Let me hold it up some. Oh, it's browning nicely. There we go. I'm going to go back down to 5 just to make sure I'm not getting any scorching on this. I was doing like 7 at a time. But oh boy, yeah, the toe jam cheese, like I'm not convinced that wasn't on purpose because like or that it wasn't on purpose. Yeah. I think it might actually have been bad. But I think we got it in a fancy cheese shop or it was a gift, but not good. Mm. Oh, there, and you're talking about the Gorgonzola. Yeah, they don't always have it. Um, but it's usually over with, all the cheeses and stuff. They'll have their rounds like in a white wrapper, and they'll have brie and sometimes gorgonzola and no, I don't think they have gorgonzola in rounds. They usually have wedges of that. But they'll have brie, I think camembert, which I never buy, and then sometimes they'll have the gorgonzola, and the gorgonzola has a blue wrapper, but it's otherwise the same form factor as the little brie wheels. And oh, I love it. And put that on a hot toasted bagel. Oh man, that used to be one of my favorite things. Oh, the toe cheese. Mm-mm. Nope. Like I said, I can eat limburger, so that's a whole other. If I remember what it's called, I'll find out, and you can go ahead and seek it out. I feel like I've never seen it again, or I'd remember because I would, and I look at cheese wherever I go and it has a good cheese section. I look at them. I feel like I would have been like, oh, that's that stuff, right? Because it's the only cheese I ever didn't like. And I don't remember, so I must never have seen it again. Eesh, nope. Yeah, and often the stinkier the better. And I really, really like, and it's rough because I seem to have an issue with lactose. I'm not entirely possible sure if it's also a combination of some milk proteins bothering me. Um, but I usually, I can take lactose pills when I know I'm going to do something like have pizza because it's a lot of mozzarella at once. Aged cheeses I seem to be fine with usually, which leans toward it being lactose. But I've had the A1 milk and stuff, and that doesn't bother me, which leans toward it being a sensitivity to the protein. I don't know which it is. I'm just getting by until, as you get older, everyone gets less lactose intolerant because your body creates less lactase to process it. So I was living with it till I can't anymore. But goat cheese, goat milk doesn't have any lactose. So I've never had a problem with goat cheese. I don't know if there's any difference in the proteins. There probably is, but they make some really good goat bries now, and it allows for things like feta, which is like sheep cheese. Jersey cow, A1, and goat milk are the ones I can handle. Okay. Hmm. I don't know. Why would Jersey cow make a difference? I do not know. Um, yeah, I don't feel bloated. I get a combination of different things. I get, um, how do I put this? I didn't have a regular movement until I was like, I think in my 30s and or late 20s, early 30s, and had switched to soy milk just to try and get some health benefits from having more soy and plant-based stuff. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, this is what other people talk about. Like I go once a day and it's, normal. And my mom said, well, duh, of course you're lactose intolerant. You were in the hospital as a baby and you almost, you were so sick from the formula. And that's why I insisted on breastfeeding your sister. And like, so of course, like, Um, when I went to her with, I think I'm lactose intolerant. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. But I've never been regular. You fed me different cheese my whole life. I had never made any connection to why because I didn't know anything different. But of course, like I should have made that connection from what happened when I was an infant. Um, Hazelnut milk. I've not had hazelnut milk. I use oat milk. I don't drink a lot of milk um, at all. Yeah, I'm gonna give it another 5. It's looking good. Smells good. Want it a little darker. Um, Oat milk. I was getting almond because I use for creamer. Sorry, having my not multitasking very well today, which is fine because multitasking is not a real thing. Um, I really was using like almond milk alternative for creamer because I do use creamer in my coffee every day. But I don't like and soy creamer, and they separate weird in your coffee and make the most awful texture. Both of those, but oat milk creamer does not. Oat milk creamer has been amazing, and it kind of has its own flavor. Um, Rob has actually switched to very often getting oat milk with his lattes at Starbucks. And like if you're getting, he loves hazelnut creamer too. Um, but if you're, he gets regular creamer at home, but when he goes to Starbucks, he asks for oat milk in his lattes with stuff like the flavors. We tend to like the nutty flavors when we do get Starbucks, like the pistachio and hazelnut and chestnut and things. And the oat milk really adds a little of its own oaty, for lack of a better word, flavor to those lattes, and it doesn't get a weird freaking texture like soy milk and almond milk tend to when they're mixed with anything hot. I don't know if hazelnut does any of that breaking like some of the other nut milks do that I have been made it unable for me to enjoy. I mean, I'm sure it's great if you're just drinking it. I mean, hazelnuts are amazing. That's what I should have thought about getting for to add to the granola. I forgot to add more spices. You know what? Doesn't need it. I just taste a little bit. I can taste the spices fine. So just that, I would say that was maybe a quarter teaspoon of each on the whole 6 cups. It's just giving me a little yum yum. If I specialize and make this with and do stuff like add ginger and apricots next time, that would be a good macadamia nut or hazelnuts for that kind of granola. I think I might have to soon make another granola. This is going to be close to, it's not clumpy at all, which is fine because the trade off would be having to put a lot more sugar to get it clumpy, and I don't want that. But um, I feel like this is getting crunchy and toasty enough. I could also use it as muesli. I'll throw it on my yogurt. I could even put milk in it and eat it like cereal, but I I don't have any. I don't think I have any milk in the house. If I do, it's just regular milk because the kids do love to drink it. And I'm out of my shelf stable milk. I gotta remember to put that on the list because in case I do want to make something, I've got like a tuna Alfredo in a box sitting there from when we were using the food pantry that I do want to be able to just throw together uh, when I'm in a position where I don't have to make anything for anyone else, but I'll need milk for that, and I can't keep milk in the house because the kids eat it all. Ah, well, what do I do? Here we go. Let's pick a cookbook while we're here. Do 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 do. I talked about this. Nobody answered me in the Discord if we thought that would be a great idea to have a stream, but I can just start filling time and cooking with it. Go over some of these cookbooks that I have to give away, that I've been giving away, um, and see what we have and highlight them. Ooh wee. Okay, this one didn't age so great, right? Oh, we want to guess when this is from? Um, oh, sorry, your browser crashed. 1977. Copyright 1977, when people didn't realize that's a rug, that's not people. uh, Cooking Oriental the American way. So what do we have? Stir-fried main dishes, vegetables, wontons, tempura, and other fried favorites. Um, yeah, I debated whether I even wanted to put this in the spreadsheet or throw it away, but I'm like, it's a place and time, and it's in decent condition. And I flipped through, and the recipes look decent. They look legit. They're not just like throw in a jar of kikkoman teriyaki or anything like that. It's from scratch. Ingredients, little tips like cutting your celery on the bias. Yes, it's historical. No, not 60s. What did I say? 77 by the Meredith Corporation in Des Moines, Iowa. This is a Better Homes and Gardens branded. I don't know why. A hit of a gift for $6.95. This looks like an almost original price tag. I would be surprised. It's really small. Like, I guess Better Homes and Gardens has a good reputation, right? How many pages is it? Oh boy. Look at this. I kind of this Oriental ingredients. Uh all right. This is a pretty good, get this stuff in your house and try it. I've never seen hoisin sauce in a can. Um, tree ears, isn't that wood ear? I don't think I've ever seen it. Um, uh, this is a very good list of ingredients, laid out in a very pretty way. I just, it was a place and time, right? Lychee is in here. These pea pods look, they've been drying in the back of a cupboard forever. Supposed to be fresh. What is this? Dashi. Hmm. Uh, I yeah. So sorry, I was gonna see how many pages this is. Oh, it's got meal planning as well as an index, teas and beverages. So it's about 90 pages. Oriental. Do you remember that there was a ramen flavor? I don't remember which brand. I don't think it was Top. I think it was Maruchan. Yeah, it was Maruchan. Ramen had an Oriental flavor. They've changed. It was off the market for a while. It was a blue wrapper. It was my favorite kind. Um, and it just disappeared for a while. And it's like back now, the blue wrapper and stuff, but they just call it soy sauce flavor. And I don't know. I think I just don't like ramen anymore. I can't discern whether it's actually changed or it's just been rebranded to be more culturally not inappropriate. I almost said sensitive, and I'm like, well, it's not really that. But all right, I'm gonna taste this before I decide it's good for texture. Um, the nuts are getting, the pecans are darker than I want, and I don't want that to happen any further. All right, hot, 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 hot. It's making a noise. Can you hear it? It's crunchy. You can hear my damn dehumidifier. Sorry. Okay, it's crunchy. I'm calling this done. It's got a nice roasty toasty flavor. Ah. I think I do just a tad more cinnamon. And we'll put these cherries in here. Should I have chopped these? Maybe. I think they need chopping. And I forgot. Well, no, I didn't forget. I just decided now. But guess what? I have a solution. I have kitchen sears. I'm going to have these. And it'll be a good way to spread them around while I'm at it. I'll mix it up, and then we're done. And then we'll raid my new favorite cooking streamer. And I would appreciate if you would stick around. So the other thing I started saying and then flaked because I really think I have ADHD, but it doesn't matter. Eat at Dad's has something called Cookie Club. So there's a lot of ways to get entries to his Cookie Club. You can check in when you watch stream. It gets channel points. You can redeem every 5,000 channel points. You can get a Cookie Club entry. You can raid him and get entries into Cookie Club. You can suggest a friend of yours raid them, and then your friend can say, hey, my friend sent me here, and get a Cookie Club entry. But then every month, he does this thing, and he cooks the cookies on stream. He bakes them, and he has a spreadsheet with all the different ways that people got entries, and puts the slips in a bowl, and makes and shrink wraps two of these whatever cookies they are, and mails them to people. And I love that idea. It's delightful. If I ever have a bunch of subscribers, I feel like I would like to do something like that where I have a big enough community where I'm giving them things that would be supported by the stream. But man, he made these cookies last Cookie Club. I was very sad I did not win. I haven't been watching him very long. That were from a recipe book somebody who streams, I don't know, made with Asian cookie recipes, and they were like black sesame, white chocolate. They had like miso and black sesame paste in the cookies. They looked freaking amazing. And today, like I said, he's working on. He also does recipe development. I guess he has a gig where for restaurants or something have him test recipes, which I would love that. That would make me very happy. I don't know if it's restaurants or cookbooks, but I know he tests recipes. All right, I think these are in a more reasonable size now for being able to mix into my granola. My granola. Yeah, that's not right. No one should do that. No one should definitely clip that. And I'm mixing. I'm gonna get another thing for more effective mixing. I don't know why I'm singing today. I'm not the performer. Yeah. Hot granola. This is too much. I should not be allowed to be that silly about it. I'm on purpose, not only to get this thoroughly combined, I kind of want a little heat to hit these cherries and get them to a nice chewiness. They've been in the fridge for a while, so it would be weird to bite into something cold in the middle of my crunchy granola. I missed a bunch of those. All right. Isn't that pretty? Is it nice looking? This is nice looking enough that I feel like I want to get a picture. Step out. Beautiful. It's beautiful. I don't care what anybody says. All right, now that's going to need to get washed. Let's put some in a cauldron. And let's just eat some off the tray. I'm sorry, I have to seal cashew first. It's my favorite. You can't hear it. My mic isn't sensitive enough. It's crunchy. Like the oats themselves are nice and crunchy, and those cherries were the best call for the ad. Of mellow and not overtaking it and balancing perfectly with like the cashew and the walnut. There wasn't enough pecans to really affect anything, but I definitely recommend, and I'm gonna keep mixing maple and honey to do this. From now on, instead of just maple. All right. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna raid Eat at Dad's. I hope you'll check him out. I hope you'll follow him. I hope you love him as much as I do. And I hope you learn something, or at least have just a good time. And I'll pop in there in a minute. I need to go turn him back on the TV because they're laying on the phone and the TV and the blah blah blah. But cool. Make your own granola. Come on to my Discord. Tell me what you put in yours. Let's have a granola party. And I look forward to cooking with you soon.